First at 11, powerful storms move through the upstate, leaving behind a trail of damage.
Plus, new details of a plane crash in the upstate that's left 2 people dead. We now know more about how that crash happened and the people involved. Let's go to Malachi now. He has your forecast first.
All right, thank you, Tom. We saw a line of strong storms move through the area around 5 to 7 o'clock this evening. Those storms left a trail of damage. One area, possibly a tornado in Anderson. We'll watch to see if that is actually confirmed by tomorrow morning. Now, as we take a look over the next 7 hours, rain chances are minimal, but a chance of showers around 3 a.m. in the upstate and in the mountains. But drier weather heading into the weekend. The latest on that when I come back in about 15 minutes.
This is 7 News at 11.
Thank you for joining us tonight. We have breaking news this evening spanning 2 counties.
That's right. We're beginning tonight with this storm damage situation connected to a reported tornado.
We have this video here from a 7 News viewer in Williamston. T. Evans sent this to us when tornado warnings were happening in Anderson County.
And take a look at Clemson Boulevard. More viewer pictures here. You can see how busy the area was and just how scary those clouds looked earlier this evening during this tornado warning period.
There's breaking news in Greenville County as well, where deputies are investigating after they say a woman's body was found wrapped in a blanket. We're told it's happening in the 300 block of South Old Piedmont Highway. Our Nicole Smith standing by with the very latest on this. Nicole.
Yeah, Tom, this is more of an industrial community with some commercial properties where we are right now. The Greenville County Sheriff deputies were called here at about 5:45 p.m. today after getting reports of a body found near the side of the road. They arrived in the 300 block of South Old Piedmont Highway and found a woman's body wrapped in what appeared to be a blanket. The sheriff's office says the woman's manner of death is still under investigation. Back here live, anyone with information is asked to contact Greenville Crime Stoppers at 23 Crime, Tom.
Now, Nicole, investigators are going to need to get some additional details somehow in all of this. What do we know about an autopsy being planned? Are there any visible signs of trauma to the body?
Yeah, Tom, we talked with the coroner and he tells us that an autopsy is scheduled for tomorrow and that there were no visible signs of trauma to this woman's body, Tom.
All right, a story, of course, we'll keep following for you. Thank you, Nicole.
I've been here 35 years and we've never had a fatality on the airport until today.
2 people are dead. 2 are critically injured after this jet ran off the runway at the Greenville downtown airport today. Now, the deceased are the pilots. Their 2 passengers are in the hospital tonight, a married couple in critical condition. 7 News reporter Ann Maxwell has been covering this all day, and she's live at the airport tonight with the very latest developments. Ann.
Amy, we have learned the identity of the co-pilot, 66-year-old Stephen George Fox of Indian Rocks, Florida. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. As for the pilot, we've learned he is a 49-year-old man. He was pronounced dead on the scene. However, his identity has not yet been released as officials are still working to break the news to his family. Both of them were on board a 12-passenger private jet when it skidded off the runway. A Falcon 50 jet plummeted to the bottom of a bank nose first. The 2 pilots were killed.
I was at work. I was in the parking lot. I had just gotten back from lunch, and all of a sudden I hear this loud boom.
Officials do not yet know what went wrong.
It was a normal landing is all I can tell you. We all saw it land and for some reason it did not stop and ran off the end of the runway.
After crashing into the fence on Airport Road, one of the jet's engines continued to run.
It was a very high throttle setting with a lot of dust being, very loud. It was unfortunate. I think one of the pilots was laying on the throttle and was unconscious. And so very difficult to get in the aircraft.
The noise of the engine caught the attention of people who work near the runway. Several people tell 7 News they are used to hearing the planes for a few moments, but when the noise of this engine didn't stop, they knew something was wrong.
Every day they fly above my job. Every day we see them in and out. So it was just very shocking because we hadn't experienced this. And this is the first day that we saw something like this happen.
Firefighters were able to break a window to get in. They then cut back the throttle and searched to cut off the fuel. However, some of it spilled.
Incident commanders have soaked up most of the fuel that was leaking and dammed up the ditches so that the fuel does not spread.
The Federal Aviation Administration secured the scene, but the National Transportation Safety Board will be arriving Friday to investigate what happened. And the airport director says the plane had a data recorder as well as a voice recorder on board. So hopefully the NTSB will be able to get some answers. We're live in Greenville tonight. Ann Maxwell, 7 News.
So, Ann, do we know how long the plane will still be in that position there?
Yeah, Amy, the police chief tells us that it could be there until Sunday, so 3 days. Amy?
Oh, all right, Ann Maxwell live tonight. Thanks, Ann.
Also in Greenville County, fire crews were busy working a house fire. It happened around 8 tonight on 10 North Gaywood Drive, not far from Wade Hampton Boulevard in Greenville. The Wade Hampton Fire Department tells 7 News five of its units were on the scene. They say no injuries were reported. There's no word yet on what may have caused that fire. Investigators in North Carolina believe they have found the body of a missing autistic boy. Search crews found the body in woods in Gastonia. Police say it was about a mile from where 6-year-old Maddox Rich disappeared almost a week ago. Maddox's father told police that his son ran off while they were walking in Rankin Lake Park Saturday. He says he couldn't catch him. For nearly 6 days, investigators combed thousands of acres in the area and followed up on hundreds of leads, but that all came to an end this afternoon.
The community's heartbroken. Our searchers, our investigators. This is not the end that we had hoped for.
An autopsy is being done to determine the boy's cause of death. The Asheville Police Department is asking for your help to find a missing teenager. Police say 17-year-old River Gadish was last seen the night of September 5th. She was in the area of Bull Mountain Road. They say it's possible she could be in the Montford or Swannanoa area. If you know where she is, contact the Asheville Police Department.
Well, President Trump's Supreme Court nominee was in the hot seat on Capitol Hill today. Brett Kavanaugh denying that he sexually assaulted a woman decades ago. His accuser, Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, also testified before the Senate Judiciary Committee. The vote on the nomination could come as soon as this weekend. Nicole Killian has our story.
This has destroyed my family and my good name.
Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh appeared before the Senate Judiciary Committee Thursday, forcefully denying he sexually assaulted Dr. Christine Blasey Ford when they were both in high school.
I'm not questioning that Dr. Ford may have been sexually assaulted by some person in some place at some time. But I have never done this to her or to anyone.
But under oath, Ford offered a different account.
I tried to yell for help. When I did, Brett put his hand over my mouth to stop me from yelling. I thought that Brett was accidentally going to kill me.
Republican lawmakers deferred to prosecutor Rachel Mitchell to poke holes in Ford's claims.
You said that you do not remember how you got home. Is that correct?
I do not remember.
Democrats called for an FBI investigation.
I welcome whatever the committee wants to do because I'm telling the truth.
The hearings lasted for about 8 hours. Republican senators met afterwards to discuss what comes next.
I don't see any reason for delay, and he's clearly a very fine man.
If every Democrat votes against Kavanaugh, the GOP can only afford to lose one vote.
Assuming we get to a floor vote, I certainly plan to support his nomination.
President Trump tweeted his full support for Kavanaugh, saying in part, "Judge Kavanaugh showed America exactly why I nominated him." The Senate Judiciary Committee is set to vote on Kavanaugh's nomination Friday, with the first Senate floor vote on Saturday. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Judge Kavanaugh could be confirmed as early as next week.
A cherished member of the WSPA TV family has passed away. Nancy Welch Harrison died today at Spartanburg Medical Center after a battle with cancer. She was 77 years old. The Nancy Welch Show debuted here on Channel 7 in 1967. Nancy was with us for 23 years, bringing you celebrity interviews as well as cooking and fashion tips. A number of you have written to me that you still use Nancy's recipes. You can learn more about Nancy's career with us and her many other community achievements at nancywelch.net. According to Floyd's Mortuary, visitation for Nancy Welch Harrison will be this Saturday, September 29th, 3 to 6 p.m. at the First Presbyterian Church of Greer Fellowship Hall. Her funeral is Sunday at 3 p.m. at the church. First Presbyterian Church of Greer is at 100 School Street off Highway 14.
The State Bureau of Investigations looking into a shooting involving a deputy in Buncombe County. Here's what we know tonight. The Asheville Police Department is asking deputies, they asked for the assistance of deputies in this homicide investigation of Brandy Angel by stopping a suspect vehicle. And that is when deputies say the driver hit one deputy with his vehicle and dragged another along the vehicle. One deputy fired a shot and hit the driver in the shoulder and the passenger in the foot, bringing the chase to an end on Charlotte Highway. Authorities say the suspects are hospitalized and have non-life-threatening injuries.
The solicitor who was originally in charge of investigating former Greenville County Sheriff Will Lewis over misconduct in office was in court today answering to charges against him. Fifth Circuit Solicitor Dan Johnson was looking into the Lewis case after a former employee accused him of sexual harassment. Now Johnson is facing two charges: misconduct while in office and embezzlement of public funds. He appeared before a Richland County judge. An audit showed Johnson misused more than $20,000 from a state drug forfeiture account.
Misconduct in office addresses the misuse and misappropriation of funds from the state drug forfeiture account that was entrusted to Solicitor Johnson and his office. Funds from that account were used contrary to law to supplant office funds, as well as to pay for personal expenses by then Solicitor Daniel Johnson.
Johnson's aide also appeared before the judge. Nicole Holland is facing an embezzlement charge as well. Both Holland and Johnson were granted a $25,000 personal recognizance bond. Johnson has to surrender his passport. A major undercover operation has led to a massive crackdown on drug trafficking in the Indian country of western North Carolina. Today we learned a federal opioid reduction task force initiative has led to the arrest of 76 people, most believed to be drug traffickers. The operation also seized nearly 250 pounds of opioids with a street value of $2 million. What's especially unique about this effort is that it was spearheaded by the Department of the Interior.
And the message is clear. Indian country is off limits to drugs. We will find you, we will hunt you down, we will prosecute you.
This was a massive effort. It involved 13 agencies on the local, state, and federal level. 12 of the 76 arrests include federal charges carrying prison time of up to 20 years.
And new developments in the lawsuit involving toxic mold inside the Spartanburg County Courthouse. 7 News has learned the judge has denied the county's request to dismiss a lawsuit filed by a dozen courthouse employees. The county's attorney had argued the cases of illness reportedly caused by the mold should be handled as workers' comp claims, but the judge is allowing the case to move forward. The severe weather tonight impacted the March of Dimes Signature Chefs Auction. That annual event was under a tent at Fluor Field until lightning and strong winds from the storms in the area forced the organizers to evacuate hundreds of supporters. They continued bidding online. They held the live auction inside. March of Dimes supporters were really good sports about all of this. They were soaked, and many of them told me this is a night they will never forget.
Absolutely severe thunderstorms moved through the area, as well as we had a tornado warning earlier this evening moving through Anderson, and now things are much quieter across the upstate and the mountains. Let's take a look at what we're looking at as those showers and storms continue to push to the east. The heaviest rains and storms are east of Charlotte right now. But as we take a look, these are our storm reports. Each and every circle is a storm report. Most of those are from wind damage, but the one that you see here in the Anderson area, that is the one for a tornado possibly touching down that area. So survey crews will be out tomorrow from the weather service to see what type of damage it is. And what they'll look for is the damage pattern. If most of the trees or things that are knocked down are in a straight line or in the same direction as straight line winds from those strong storms. We get that often. It could be a more circular pattern with the damage, and if that's the case, then we'll be talking about a tornado. Either way, we saw a lot of damage today in many spots as those strong storms moved through. Heavy amounts of rain, heavy amounts of lightning, and overall we picked up in about 2 to 3 hour period nearly 2 inches of rain in Spartanburg, over an inch in Greenville, 1/2 of an inch or so in Anderson, and a little less than that for Asheville and Greenwood. Now, as we go through the evening, we'll stay mostly cloudy tonight. Can't rule out a stray shower as we watch this last little line of rain move through the area, but most of this won't really make it all the way through. It'll kind of fall apart before making it across the area. Tomorrow morning, we start out with cloudy skies in the upstate and the mountains, and as we head into the afternoon, we will see a few spotty showers try to redevelop. Nothing like what we saw today, but just a fast-moving shower. Check out our timeline there, 3 in the afternoon. Those spotty showers in the upstate and the the mountains as the last of that cold front moves through the area. By 5 and 6 o'clock, most of that should move out, and by 10 or 11 o'clock tomorrow night, we expect all dry weather in the forecast. So tomorrow, our hour-by-hour forecast showed you the rain moving in. We'll see clouds early in the day in our virtual skycast, but sunshine in the late afternoon. Highs around 82 degrees tomorrow in the upstate. Comfortably cool for this time of year. Western North Carolina will start the morning out in the 60s, but unlike the upstate, we stay mostly cloudy in the mountains, so temperatures tomorrow are expected to remain in the 70s all day long. For high school football tomorrow night, the weather should be great. The rain should clear out in time for the games, and we'll see temperatures in the upper 70s at kickoff, falling through the low 70s by 9 o'clock tomorrow night. Our cold front is just on our doorstep. It will move through the area overnight tonight and during the day on Friday. As we head towards Friday afternoon, the front should slide to the Midlands. Behind that, that cooler, dry air starts to settle in, and that for us will set the stage for some very great-looking weather as we head into the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, we expect mostly sunny skies both days, and we expect noticeably cooler temperatures. Highs are staying in the 70s and 80s with sunshine this weekend, and in western North Carolina, partly sunny skies with temperatures in the mid to upper 70s heading towards Saturday and Sunday. So the next 72 hours will stay with some clouds around overnight tonight. Spotty showers possible early in the day, but later in the afternoon will start to dry out. Sunshine returns for Saturday and Sunday. Upper 70s and low 80s in the upstate, and we'll stay with the dry weather through next week in the upstate. And in western North Carolina, temperatures are in the upper 70s tomorrow, mid to low 70s into the weekend, with plenty of sunshine heading our way over the next 7 days.
Longtime rivals get ready to battle, but does it mean as much as it once did? That's coming up. Julio Teheran made a case to be in the Braves postseason rotation. 6 strong innings in New York tonight against the Mets. He allows just 1 run. He was gone when Devin Mesoraco adds to that 1-zip Mets lead. New Yorkers win 4-1. Braves still 1 shy of 90 wins in the season. They close out the regular campaign in Philly this weekend. Good evening, everybody. USC getting ready, of course, to play at Kentucky. Will Muschamp tonight saying he expects defensive lineman DJ Wonnum to miss 3 more games with that ankle injury that he suffered in the opener. Thus, Wonnum would be back for the final Saturday in October against Tennessee. On the field tonight, North Carolina coming off a win against Pitt. Well, reality set in down in Miami. This is one of 3 defensive touchdowns by the Canes. Chaz Surratt, picked by Joe Jackson. The big fella had one of 2 pick sixes. That's how Tar Heel fans were feeling. Jackson gets the turnover change. Miami rolls. A little bit of credibility for them, ranked 16th in the land, 47-10 winners. A trouncing of North Carolina. PC played a Thursday night game against NAIA Lindsey Wilson of Kentucky. Deshaun Davis continues to do good work. 9 catches for 78 yards, and this, the only touchdown of the game. Nice yards after the catch for the former Chapman standout, and the only TD scored in a 10-0 victory as Presbyterian improves to 2-1 on the season. Panthers signing free agent safety Eric Reed to a 1-year deal. He drew attention for kneeling during the national anthem, and he filed a grievance against the league last October. He will certainly add some depth to their depleted secondary. Now on the games coming up in the high school red zone on Friday night. Spartanburg visiting Dorman for their annual battle. Cavaliers have won 13 of the past 21. The overall series has balanced out somewhat over the years, as Dorman's been better in this century than they were in the final 4 decades of the last one. But does this showdown, with so many other teams now having stepped up around them, still mean as much to the rivals?
I remember, the teachers, the principals, everybody asking us, about the Dorman game and everything else. So it's really big on campus. It's really big in the community, and it's big over there. So it's just a crosstown rival.
It's still a big game in District 7 and District 6 for all the old-timers. This is a big game for our community. I feel the pressure. It's still a big game for me, but so won't Gaffney next week and Burns the following week.
It is certainly a rugged Region 2-5A. Of course, Thomas Morgan is one of those who played in this rivalry game last year for Dorman. Cavs rolling along. Spartanburg, which got its first victory in the region last week, 1-1. You figure they're in a must-win situation if they have any hopes to win a region crown. Didn't get a chance to do our Star of the Week earlier this evening, so we have it for you tonight at 11 o'clock. And this QB for Wren has been something this year. Tyrell Jackson, who connected with Eli Wilson on that TD last week, Part of a night of better than 450 yards in the air and 6 TD passes for Jackson. The QB also running for a touchdown in an impressive victory against Broome. Jackson has really been special this year, as he was a season ago for Jeff Tate and company.
It's so much fun, see them, everybody get involved. Our receivers have a touchdown pass. It starts with the line, the receivers, they help me, they make it easy. I just got to get it to them, but we prepared for this, so this was expected.
Talent-wise, he has the arm strength and the touch and the accuracy to make all the throws. Congratulations.
And there he is getting the Mecklenburg. So Tyrell Jackson, the latest quarterback to win our Star of the Week. They've got a game coming up against Pickens tomorrow night. Their second 5-0 start since 2014 for Wren. Of course, tomorrow night right here and at 11:35 in the CW. Roughly an hour of high school football coverage. It is Week 7 coming up in the high school red zone. We invite you to join us for that. You might see plays like we had last week when Burns got that win against Gaffney and Braylon Johnson laying out on the pass from Lawrence Scott, a 30-yard connection. A little flip on the end for good measure. Landed safely. That's the last thing Burns would have needed, another guy to hurt himself, but he popped up right off of that play. Burns got the big win, and Scott to Johnson, a memorable play. Burns is on the road taking on Riverside tomorrow night.
All right. Good play there. Thank you, Pete. We want to recap some of the breaking news we told you about at the start of our news this evening. A woman's body was found wrapped in a blanket shortly before 6 tonight. Investigators with the Greenville County Sheriff's Office say the body was found in the 300 block of South Old Piedmont Road. The county coroner tells 7 News the body did not have any visible signs of trauma and that an autopsy will be performed tomorrow.
We have also learned the name of the co-pilot killed today after this private jet ran off the runway at the Greenville Downtown Airport. The coroner says that Stephen George Fox died at the hospital and was from Indian Rocks, Florida. The pilot has been identified, but his name will not be released until the family can be informed. The passengers, a married couple, were taken to the hospital in critical condition.
And we'll be watching a few showers move through tomorrow afternoon. Nothing like the severe weather we saw today. And then drier weather heads our way into the weekend for both the upstate and the mountains.
All right, that sounds good. Carolina Morning here for you at 4:30. All your local news from overnight.
Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.